Say what, bro?
I said, I know you're but if you need anything, you know I got you.
You know, I appreciate it.
Since Lil Durk was placed in a holding facility for his impending federal trial, his legal issues have taken a new turn. Due to a leaked prison phone call that generated a lot of conversation and harsh criticism from DJ academics, this matter has received a lot of attention. This is a thorough analysis of the circumstances, their ramifications, and the reactions they have generated. Lil Durk, a well-known rap artist, is presently facing federal accusations that are notoriously difficult to fight. Because of the substantial resources devoted to investigations and the quality of the evidence usually provided, conviction rates in federal prosecutions are normally higher. Public interest in the case has increased as a result of legal experts' predictions about how tough it will be for Durk to defend these allegations. Even though the charges' specifics are yet unknown, Durk is being held in federal detention because of the gravity of the issue. This is a significant point in the rapper's life and career since federal charges sometimes carry hefty terms. The internet publication of an audio of Lil Durk's prison phone call heightened the uproar. Just got off the phone with my brother, Durk said the caption on the video that accompanied the audio. He's attempting to return home to his family, being upbeat and in a good mood. We're not simply street people, and we're not celebrating negativity. To say that we are men of honor and the code, regardless of our financial situation, would be an understatement. Durk conveyed his thanks and a thoughtful tone throughout the conversation, saying he was staying positive and resolved to confront the issue head-on. Notably, Durk made it clear that, even in jail settings, he would not choose protective custody, a decision that is consistent with the honor and toughness norms of street culture. Many of Durk's supporters found resonance in his determination to handle his situation like a man, but it also sparked controversy because of the possible legal ramifications of discussing such discussions in public. A well-known hip-hop media personality, DJ Academics, blasted the choice to disclose the conversation. This was the worst thing Durk could have done, Academics said in response. The man is battling for his life, and I have the utmost respect for whomever thought this was a beneficial idea. Publicity stunts are not appropriate at this time. Academics added that if the goal was to reassure fans and the public about Durk's mental health, it could have been done without revealing sensitive information. He said that the leaked call may make Durk's case more difficult and needlessly gave prosecutors additional evidence to examine. He went on to say that while Durk's team's dedication and support were commendable, the execution was faulty. Others shared Academics' worries and questioned whether it was wise to make the call public. The disclosure, according to critics, put public opinion and influence ahead of Durk's legal security. Discussions about the relationship between street culture and the justice system were rekindled by the call. Some people praised Durk's choice to remain in the general public instead of seeking protective custody, while others regarded it as an unnecessary danger. The conflict between street culture, public perception, and legal strategy is highlighted by Lil Durk's circumstances. This topic raises a number of important making a prison phone conversation, which is often watched and recorded. Public might unintentionally hurt the person's case by providing prosecutors with information about their tactics or state of mind. Fans and the larger hip-hop community have responded in a variety of ways to the leaked call and Academics' criticism. Durk's tenacity and reluctance to request protective custody were praised by many admirers. This showed his fans his integrity and willingness to face his situation. Calls made in jail are not private. In court, prosecutors may and often do utilize these recordings to support their allegations against defendants. Even while Durk could have meant for his remarks to soothe and uplift, they might also be read in ways that make his argument more difficult to understand. Social media has evolved into a tool for artists and their teams to manage stories and keep fans interested in the digital era. This case, however, emphasizes the dangers of overexposure, particularly in situations with significant legal implications. Durk's choice to forego protective custody is consistent with street norms that place a premium on loyalty and toughness. Nevertheless, this decision also puts him in potentially hazardous circumstances, both legally and physically. Critics contend that following street laws might sometimes compromise one's independence and personal safety. Being a well-known artist, Durk's every action is closely watched. It's challenging to walk a tightrope between the responsibilities of maintaining his reputation in the rap scene and the facts of his legal circumstances. A pivotal point in Lil Durk's life and career will probably be his trial. As his supporters and teammates support him, Lil Durk's legal struggle has become much more complicated as a result of the leaked prison phone conversation. It demonstrated his tenacity and devotion to his principles, but it also brought attention to the dangers of making private moments during crucial court cases public. The hip-hop scene will be keenly following the case's developments in the hopes of a settlement that would enable Durk to go on with his career as an artist and as a guy attempting to overcome hardship. It seems you're referring to a complex situation involving rapper Lil Durk, a legal case, and a viral controversy surrounding a phone call and social media content. The details about the case are somewhat fragmented, but based on the elements you've provided, let's expand on the situation, considering both the legal aspects and the cultural impact. Lil Durk, the prominent rapper, finds himself in the center of a legal storm following allegations tied to a controversial scheme. The case stems from accusations related to an attempt to orchestrate a situation that would implicate fellow rapper Quando Rondo, with the primary legal proceedings beginning after his arrest in Miami on October 24th. Durk, who has pled not guilty to charges, faces serious federal accusations. His detention hearing, initially set for December 12th, has drawn significant attention, partially due to the gravity of the charges and the public nature of the entire affair. However, his efforts were met with resistance from the federal authorities, who presented damning evidence that may keep him behind bars. During a court session in Los Angeles, Durk's lawyer, Drew Findling, made the request for bond release, but the federal prosecutors responded with revelations that would make the request difficult to grant. They produced an Instagram live video from a time shortly after the tragic death of a person named Lil PB, which has become a key piece of evidence. The Instagram video shows Durk in what appears to be a relaxed, casual conversation, but the prosecution claims that it provides a glimpse into Durk's state of mind at the time, hinting that he may have been involved in orchestrating events to create a false alibi. Federal authorities often cite social media content as part of their investigations, as posts made publicly can inadvertently reveal critical details about individuals' actions or thoughts during key events. In this case, the live video has been interpreted by the feds as evidence suggesting Durk was trying to distance himself from criminal activity through what they believe is a strategically crafted narrative. In the video, Durk and other figures in his circle who appear to be part of his entourage or associated with him talk about various things, including jewelry, social status, and street credibility. These seemingly innocuous comments are being viewed by the feds as part of an effort to maintain a certain public persona, particularly one that aligns with a real street image. The prosecution has pointed to the fact that this video was streamed on the night of Lil PB's death, a pivotal moment that could tie Durk to the unfolding events, as these can serve as a form of indirect communication. When criminals believe they are creating an alibi or distancing themselves from responsibility for illegal activities, they may inadvertently expose themselves through their posts. The prosecution's theory is that Durk, through this live stream, was attempting to establish a narrative of innocence while maintaining his street credibility. The situation is made even more complex by the public's reaction. As a well-known public figure, anything Durk does or says quickly goes viral. His interactions on social media are closely scrutinized, and the widespread attention given to every detail of his legal battle can often work against him, particularly when the content itself is as inflammatory as this Instagram video. In today's world, social media can be a powerful tool for both promoting one's career and, conversely, exposing one's vulnerabilities. As Durk moves forward with his defense, his lawyer, Drew Findling, will need to navigate a complicated legal landscape. It is clear that the prosecution is keen to use every piece of evidence, no matter how minor it may seem, to build a case. They are positioning this Instagram live as a strategic attempt to create an alibi, suggesting that Durk's words and actions in the video were part of a broader effort to cover up his involvement in a larger criminal operation. However, Durk and his legal team argue that these interpretations are overly broad and that there is no concrete evidence linking him to the criminal activity he is accused of. They are likely to claim that the prosecution is misinterpreting casual conversations and misrepresenting the context in which they occurred. This is a common defense strategy in cases where social media content is introduced as evidence, as the lines between innocent behavior and criminal intent can often be blurred. At the same time, Durk's legal troubles are being played out against the backdrop of a wider. In addition, the case shines a light on the broader issues of criminal justice and social media in today's digital age. Rappers and other public figures are increasingly finding themselves under legal scrutiny due to their online presence, with authorities using posts to support allegations of criminal activity. This trend reflects the growing intersection of law enforcement, social media, and public perception, raising important questions about privacy, free speech, and the role of technology in modern legal proceedings. The legal journey for Durk is far from over, and it will likely continue to be shaped by a combination of social media, courtroom tactics, and public opinion. As the case progresses, the rapper's fate may hinge on whether his defense team can successfully challenge the interpretation of the evidence against him, while also considering the broader cultural forces at play. With the next hearing scheduled for December 12th, all eyes will remain on this high-profile case, which could have far-reaching consequences for both Durk and the wider entertainment industry. How the situation unfolds will not only influence his career but could also provide valuable insights into how social media legal battles and street culture intersect in the modern era. This expanded version delves into both the legal intricacies and cultural context of the situation surrounding Lil Durk, highlighting the potential implications for both his case and the broader hip-hop community. Like, if I had to make the live broadcast even more bizarre, I'll make sure to go to his vault if someone wants me to scream him out for some jewelry. Durk chuckled when someone advised him to slip for Val, since the feds think he knew the murder was about to be solved. However, when Durk's case gained a lot of publicity, we observed Lil Tim claim that because he was the one who killed King Val, all of this might have been prevented __. When you eventually discovered that King Von was the one who had harmed you, I was just defending my little brother. I felt as if BR would still be alive if he hadn't done that foolish thing __. last night, but I thought, damn, I'm a humble person, so I don't know anything disrespectful to his mother saying that to him because I could easily get on with that kind of stuff and be clout chasing. I'm not that type, though. I'm a humble person. Ultimately, though, if they hadn't ever popped that off, that wouldn't have happened that way. Are suggesting Tim doesn't say anything because Durk has been talking on the phone since he was locked up. According to sources, he said something in the Hypno Corrido song Free Smirk that led OTF members to believe he was sending hits to people who had wronged him. A few days later, it was announced that Jam had been discovered by OTF members hiding in a crib outside of Atlanta. Additionally, Durk was hit with additional charges in his federal M for hire case, including 1 count of conspiracy and 1 count of using interstate facilities to commit M for hire, which resulted in a passing. 1 count of possessing guns in furtherance of a crime, 1 count of using, carrying, and firing firearms and a machine, and as if Durk's additional charges weren't terrible enough. The court is permitting Durk's lyrics to be used against him in the case because 1 court file has already been leaked. They're using the line "Look on the news and see your son screaming no, no" to make fun of Kwandu for responding to Lil Po's death. Another line in the court file shared told me that they got an address and the local. I said his lyrics will be about confronting. We'll see Charleston White's reaction and how he feels that Durk's arrest is a real victory because it's a demonic force, a dark energy that came down from Chicago and spread throughout America. I don't think we'll hear drill music ever again, and I don't think drill rappers would ever do anything. He rapped for all these years, but it turns out that he never capped in his lyrics much, and they are extremely incriminating. Be honored once again. Even if it seems like everything is going wrong for Durk, one lawyer who looked at the case thinks he has a chance to overcome it. As we heard Kodak Black's counsel say, this is a triumph for law-abiding Americans who like hip-hop music but don't like killing off parts of it. I'm not sure whether they have a clear-cut case against Durk Banks, since I believe they still have a lot of work to do to show the conspiracy against him. As of right now, I've just seen one text that reads, it's definitely not a good text for them to link my name to any flights they're taking, but is that the only text they're using? That doesn't mean that it's circumstantial on its own, but as I mentioned earlier, we'll have to wait and see what other evidence they have. If they have a snitch, or if they have audio or video recordings of him saying something, I believe that's a lot different than that name with these guys, because he might be blaming Grant or another guy and saying, hey, listen, make sure it doesn't associate with me at all. There are a lot of ways to interpret that, so I'm hesitant to say that they have a slam dunk case on Durk Banks because, as you may recall, the onus is on the feds to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Durk made the hit happen. The lawyer also shared when he believes Durk will be freed if no one else snitches on him, so it all depends on the US lawyer and the USA involved. If they want this person badly enough, they will make very attractive deals for these people. What does a very attractive deal look like? I think they go for the lowest hanging fruit, which could be the guy you know, or someone else involved who didn't actually do anything, or someone who did something but didn't hit you. Going to have forensics, so they'll take the least responsible person, and in my opinion, that person will be the most attractive. If that guy doesn't make a deal, they move on to the next guy. Usually, that's how things work, so you start with the person you think will flip the person who wasn't really that involved. What's also interesting about the indictment, in my opinion, is that it wasn't just money they're like. The evidence against him is the only thing keeping him from being released, even though it might have been money or job progress. Since a federal case only goes to trial 1% of the time and the feds have a 99% conviction rate, it will be extremely difficult to win this case in court. We watched another lawyer present the statistics of a federal case, sharing that Lil Durk has been indicted on federal charges for the death of L. POF. Lawyers expect him to negotiate a plea deal for a lesser sentence. Trial, and he may need to snitch his way out, but according to an official report of the evidence we saw, federal investigators were able to obtain iCloud records of Lil Durk warning an associate not to book any flights under any names connected to me. Despite this warning, the associate booked the flights using a credit card that was directly linked to Lil Durk. To further link Durk to the suspects, they also showed an old King Von jewelry shopping video in which 3 of the suspects are with him, demonstrating a connection between Durk and the men who removed Lil PB alone. Go over there, boss, you're good, my boy, good. It got real in here, man, because he just stepped in the money man's shoes. However, the feds showed this Instagram live when Jam was wearing a wire with Lil Durk continuously grabbing his jacket, indicating that he had the considered Jam to be family. After Jam was released from a 12-year prison sentence, he took $50,000 in cash to help him start over. His name is Strategy Cry, steady crying, feed him, you guys hold your babies, don't you? I got to hold my money like this. There are too many crazy things up there doing all this sneaking, playing online games and stuff like that. Goof, bro, get out what you know about how many years you did all that. I did all, 12. That boy popped out 12 years. Indictment stated that their flights and rental cars were paid with credit cards connected to OTF. Now, was this an attempted hit? This is about the music because they placed you there and you can't say that anymore because of FBG Cash talking about federal charges in California. Oh, sure, because of Face. Wait, no, like. Oh, but what I'm saying is that furious and immediately started planning the hit that took out Lil Pop because he wanted retribution. He liked Durk, a singer, but he won't do anything, so you may believe anything you want. He wanted it quickly, but he knew he had to wait a while to make it less suspicious. I Got Your Parents hit almost as if he was trying to warn them that he was pursuing them. Only a short while after the hit was reported in the media, 3 persons are now being searched by police for allegedly attacking a Savannah rapper and a member of his entourage in Los Angeles. The incident was caught on video and Durk received retribution and Quanda was upset about it, so he tried to get even with Durk by rapping My Favorite Up Gone again, saying, "My favorite up gone is his sister talks too much, no, I don't like her." Timmy rolled her brother up and got stepped on in some Nike sneakers, but Durk knew he was better off than Quandu, so he disrespectfully rapped the lyrics. As we previously mentioned, watch the news and see your son screaming no, mocking Quandu's sadness over his fallen best friend. This man is frantic at the sight.